Alright, here we are, and we're casting, not we, I mean me. Oh shit, I actually did the wrong thing on the overlay. Sorry about that, guys. This is the winners bracket round of 16, and it is the HoN Tour Season 4 qualifiers. This game's actually live, so that's why stuff's happening right now, and I'm missing it, mostly because we just jumped out of the losers bracket round of 16 game, and this game has just begun. We're about 4 minutes in, so missed the drafting phase, missed the Bloodlust, which was actually on FIA or File. I'm not sure if which one he likes. I'm gonna say File just because I'm a Western-centric American, and that makes sense to me. He wrote his name in a way that resembles an English word, so that's what's happening right now. But a second kill just happened there on him in the middle lane, which is actually a little surprising. Final playing the middle Moon Queen, hero that we very, very rarely see these days, and usually not placed in the middle lane. So Moon Queen, hero I like, one of my favorites, has been ever since my Dota days. So excited to see what the guys on CENA, aka the Undertakers, can do here. Hellborn side, we got Polymorph, and there's some names here that you should definitely recognize. King Nikke is one of them. I believe I've seen Znooky do some stuff. I don't know if Hanks is Hanksor. It would not be surprising to me if that was the case. I'm gonna also D&D myself. Anyway, so we'll see if they can go up against a team on the Legion side that actually is pretty full of well-known names. Shorcan and File, of course, ex-DNKE members. File was, I believe, removed when Prime Icarus was born, and Shorcan stayed through Prime Icarus pretty much until it ended. Ganal and Mex, I believe, are ex-TZP Tang Zang Pang members, and I don't know who Robin Swan is, but we'll see if he can do anything interesting this game. In the lane, it is Moon Queen and Behemoth going up against a Meraxis, and so far that hasn't gone super well for the guys on the Undertakers. And top lane, I'm missing more stuff, actually, as Shorcan gets a kill on Hanks, so well played there. To the Suicide Kraken, Shorcan occupying the Suicide role once again. He used to be the jungle player for Prime Icarus and for various other teams. He has played some Suicide in competitive in various incarnations of teams, depending on what was necessary. Bottom lane Malphus was apparently used by Hellbringer, so once again the Hellbringer going to be seen, and I say that because we saw a couple of them in the earlier series that we just casted on HoNcast. Did decently well, and we'll see how well DM Heritus does on the Hellbringer. Looks like it's actually a Suicide Hellbringer, which is pretty interesting. Not something I would have expected for that hero, but clearly doing quite well, 334 gold per minute. And Shorcan going to transition to the bottom lane down here. He's at 347, so actually the top farmer on his team. Quite interesting that both Suicides are doing as well as they are. Cersei going to help support the Shorcan Kraken. Cersei, obviously the hard support here on this Legion side. I'm going over them slightly just because I didn't get the drafts. Kraken, Moon Queen, Cersei, Parasite, and Behemoth. Moraxis, Hellbringer, Empath, Rally, and Tremble. And both drafts looking quite solid. I do slightly prefer the Legion sides as usual, once again, because they are a jungle lineup. And like jungle heroes, also Hellbringer going to be a lot of trouble right here. We'll throw out the fear effect, but it's not going to matter. Definitely going to fall as 4 heroes combined. And sorry, that's just 3. That's a Cersei illusion for the kill onto DM Heritus. So 2-2, tied up as the Undertakers even the score. Still a little bit down in gold by about 1,000. And I don't actually know a demonic wave. That's what. No. It's Demon Strike. That's the fear. Okay. Demon Strike is the fear. Demonic wave is the thing. I actually haven't played Hellbringer since the rework. I'm not a huge fan of that hero, so. It's fine, though. We'll see how he does this game, as I said before. Behemoth may get left alone in this middle lane a little bit, and we'll see. I guess looks like Files transition to the bottom. And that's definitely something they're going to need to have him do, because Moon Queen needs to be able to get off to a good start in order to transition well into the late game. Obviously, she farms like crazy with the multi-strike, but if she gets shut down early, it's very, very easy to keep her shut down. No escape mechanism, very, very squishy, reasonably fast, of course, with the additional base movement speed, but in general, just not a hero that is great at recovering completely by herself, unlike, say, a Clanks or a Puppet Master or even something like a Silhouette. She has a lot of issues if she doesn't get stacks, and if she doesn't get protection, especially in her jungle. But if she does get some of that stuff, obviously her GPM can take off. So 170 gold per minute right now for File, obviously not nearly where he wants to be. A top lane, I'm missing shit once again. Shortcan gets another kill now, so he's 2-0 and 1. They get the deny in the tower as well, so nice jump there from Behemoth on Robin Swan. I'm sure that combination of those two heroes is going to work quite well. Obviously, release of Kraken and the Shockwave are a nice little combination. And if they can successfully execute that, then they should take team fights quite easily. Shortcan gonna get jumped a little bit by Meraxis. Has double damage rune though, so this might be a little bit more dangerous for Meraxis than he realizes. Shortcan's gonna charge him into the cliff. He's gonna eat the stun though, and the Matrax. We'll see if he's got any rocks to show him. And he does not, in fact, but he will explode the Matrax, and Shortcan gonna go down right there. So getting a little bit too cocky with the double damage rune, and ends up paying for it as King Nikke is playing a very, very nice Meraxis in this middle lane, 345 gold per minute, and that is tops on his team, and in fact tops in the game as he takes out the opposing team's top farmer. Empath going to transition to the middle lane here, get some nice free farm. Always like to see that with supports, as they do need to maintain their levels, and gold. Having a little bit of extra gold in your supports is extremely important. So the fact that Empath can perhaps even hit 6 here with some middle lane creep, that would be a pretty huge thing for the Hellborn side. Haven't talked about Tremble at all. He is, of course, sitting in this top lane completely by himself. Didn't do the greatest against the Suicide Kraken, but he's at 360 gold per minute, which is in fact now the highest in the game as he continues to farm. And it's a hero that the Hellborn Elite side just need to start to address relatively soon, because their Moon Queen is not going to keep up with the Tremble if this is the current pace, as Tremble's going to have a Thunderclaw relatively quickly. At least I assume that's going to be his item choice. And is it? Yeah, it's Warp left. So definitely going to be a Thunderclaw for this Tremble, and he will farm like a madman. He probably won't quite be able to keep up with Moon Queen, but in terms of per minute farm, but with the lead that he already has, it's going to be really difficult for him to catch. So if they were on even footing, I would favor the Moon Queen, but right now Tremble's definitely looking like he's going to start to take off a lot faster than the Moon Queen is, and the Legion side just not super well equipped to deal with this Tremble, I don't think. He's got mounds up here. They have lost this tier 1 tower up here as well, so he's basically going to be able to free farm the jungle until he can complete his Thunderclaw, and once he's got that, he doesn't really need to be in too much danger to successfully farm very, very quickly. And once again, looks like Moon Queen could be in some trouble as we see 3 heroes rotate to the bottom lane. Meraxis is one of them. Where's Ward of Sight, though? It's going to spot him out, obviously. The creeper is seeing him as well, so Hellborn team making very little attempt to hide what they're doing. And we'll see if they can grab any kills out of this, or if they're just going to push this tower. It looks like the tower pushes the first thing on their mind. Empath can roam into the woods a little bit and see what she can find, but obviously if she runs into the Moon Queen and the Cersei, she could be in a little bit of trouble. Not too much kill potential for those 2 heroes, but definitely a dangerous situation. Shortcan going to port in as well, but Ward of Sight gets placed behind the tower, very well placed, and that's going to spot him out. He actually gets his mana pot cancelled as well, and of course you can see him visibly as he's up next to the creep wave. So looking at 4 heroes down here in the bottom lane defending this tier 1 tower for the Legion side. Let's consider this actually a very, very important tower, and actually very nice Ward of Sight there from Ganal, so we will counter the Ward of Sight that's placed down. But Moon Queen having this tower is going to be pretty crucial for her ability to farm, just because she needs that defense, and she needs somewhere that she can run to if she gets in trouble. She needs the place that her teammates can port to back her up, as, again, she is squishy, she has no escape mechanism, and she can get caught out and killed quite easily if she's not careful. These creeps doing a lot of damage to her, so she will survive, but getting really dangerous, and she's going to have to head back down to the base to heal up, because she probably doesn't want to stick around here with this little health unless somebody's got a health pot, which nobody does. Or no, she's probably being flown out some regen right now. So she'll leech some experience, and there's nobody around here on Hellborn side to interrupt that, so she should be just fine. Let's see what item build she goes for. Obviously has the Steam Boots already, looking like she's going to build an Energizer into what I would think is probably a Shrunken Head, as if she gets jumped, she's going to be in a crap ton of trouble. Nice little W there from Meraxis. She's got some rocks to show her, but doesn't actually do so. Moon Queen able to get the hell on out of there. A lot of TP support drawn as the Parasite and Cersei both come in to back up MQ, so File getting continuously shut down, and I really like the way the Hellborn team is playing this. They realize that if they continuously keep this Moon Queen down, that they will win this game, and Tremble is not a hero that needs to be babysat, so focusing their resources in the appropriate places, and so far paying off in the form of 3,000 gold lead and about 500 experience. So it's been negligible, but still nice to have. Parasite, another hero we haven't talked about too much. 270 GPM on Mex, and he's currently sitting on the Blood Chalice on top of red boots. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the puzzle box build from him. Might be the Lex Talionis. Both of them are absolutely viable. In fact, you can go if you really like to. Bottom tower does go down. Cersei is going to pop the illusion. She deceives her way on out, and she should be just fine. So Malphus, I believe, was not even used to get that tower kill. So and that means they will have it up for the next fight. The thing you have to consider is the Hellborn team fight is quite strong. So we talked about the Legion side team fight a little bit. Having the Behemoth and Kraken combination is going to be very nice. Cersei being able to take over people in team fights. Of course, the Moon Queen ultimate for plenty of damage potential. Hellborn, though, they do have Malphus. They've got the Matrix from Meraxis. And, of course, Tremble just being a very good team fight hero in general. Rally ultimate. So there's no shortage of ways for the Hellborn team to deal damage and have lockdown in these fights. In fact, I might be a little bit concerned about the Legion side's lockdown. Outside of the Fisher, they don't have too many reliable stuns. Kraken Charge is difficult to hit in general and can be even more so when you can't get a PK initiation. Top lane, actually, they're going to be able to take out Robin Swan on that PK, so mentioning that, just barely missed that because I'm not paying nearly enough attention to my minimap. Middle lane, Kraken going in onto this empath, but he can get turned on as Malphus comes out. Empath's going to survive. Essence Link goes through, and it will be Shortcan dead as Empath lives, so very nice support there from the Hellborn side as both Hellbringer and Rally come in to save the Empath, and in fact get a turn kill. We do use the Malphus, but it's going to turn into some good tower damage on this tier 1 in the middle, so a lot of really nice things happening for Polymorph in the early going, and we'll see if they can transition that into a late game victory, but they may not even need that at this point, as 470 gold per minute on the Tremble has put up the Thunderclaw. I'm expecting to see the Shrunken Hand from him next, as there's a lot of magical damage from the Legion side, and a fair bit of lockdown, stuff that he just does not want to deal with, so wouldn't be surprised to see him get the Shrunken as his follow-up item after that. I would say Wingbow is probably what you're looking for. Good attack speed, basically prevent the Moon Queen from doing much of anything to him. So between the Shrunken and the Wingbow, I think he's probably unkillable in fights if he has a combination of items, and he would do a crap ton of damage. Rejected! We'll see if we even get that far, because at this point it looks like the Undertakers might be in some serious trouble after game 1. And trying to get up these farm stacks safely in the jungle, but it's really not working all that well. Kraken going to get caught out. In fact, here's Rally and Empath as well. Fisher Center will stop Rally a little bit. There goes the face hug as well. And Matrix is coming in. He jumps on the board. Finally, rocks miss once again. Parasite going to get inside of the Vagabond leader. Going to try to run away, but he gets pushed out. Matrix explodes. That's definitely going to be a kill on Parasite. Cersei trying to take over the Tremble. Will be able to do so. In fact, there might be some solid turn kills. If they can get the Meraxis and the Tremble, that would be huge. Enrage from Behemoth misses. They managed to finish off the Empath, and that's a 1-for-1 right now. Trembles are going at it, and in fact Moon Queen isn't here to do some backup, but it looks like Cersei's illusion will wear off. The Hellborn team is just going to pour it out. Boris does die, but that's fine, and ends up being a 1-for-1 again in favor of the Hellborn side as they get the Parasite in exchange for the Heartsport Empath. It's also quite a dive, which does two things. Sure, maybe you don't want to dive that far, but it basically shows us right now how powerful this Hellborn team is and how confident they feel that they can dive that far into the Legion base at 17 minutes into the game. Not only get a favorable trade, but a pretty seriously favorable trade, and able to get out even despite a solid response from the Legion team. So Undertaker's in a really bad position right now, and continues to go back to the poor farm on Moon Queen. I think they'd feel a lot better about where they are if we had 300 to 400 gold per minute. Even if she was still behind the Tremble, it's just that 220 gold per minute, she has absolutely nothing she can do. She's got the Whispering Helm right now, which is a solid pickup. It's going to allow her to continue to farm quite well, and it's going to keep her sustainable in the jungle if she can get that. And then the Firebrand, we might be looking at something interesting, but by the time those two items come out, I wouldn't be surprised if she's died at least a couple more times. And in the meantime, the Hellborn team has pretty much taken over the Legion side's jungle. So if they're taking map control, they realize they're ahead, they're like, let's do something about it. This is absolutely the correct play, so good for them, trying to keep that Moon Queen down, and successfully doing so. Not only that, they've also started to make pretty serious impact on the rest of this Legion team. We talked about Mex before at 270 gold per minute. Now he's down at 220, and that's mostly because he just does not have anywhere to safely farm at the moment. Tremble is taking the entire Hellborn woods, and the Legion side is camping out in the Legion forest. there's just nowhere else that they can safely farm because all their tier 1 towers are dead, so they have to wait for the lanes to push in to get any creep kills, and most of those are probably going to go to Moon Queen. Short can on the Kraken, still at 270 gold per minute, and I think he's probably close to his portal key. He might have it, in fact, now. Yeah, that's what it is, coming on the courier, so that is going to be a bit of a sign of life here for the Undertakers, as if they can pick off a nice kill with the Kraken's portal key, that would do a lot for them, and in these team fights it's going to be a lot more helpful to be able to get a good charge off, so to release the Kraken exactly where you want to. Now, we did see the word of sight there, obviously spotted out the Kraken, so the Hellborn team might be well aware of the fact that Kraken has his portal key right now. He's also level 11 though, so still some potential for that hero. By the way, refreshing orb was picked up by Hellbringer, so he's actually got double Malphus now. Really, really early refresher, and I would guess he's got enough mana for it. He's currently at 600 for 2 Malphuses. I don't. 300, yeah. So he actually does not have a large enough mana pool to use his refreshing stone and both Malphuses. He's going to have to get some sort of increase in base mana, or he's going to have to get a bunch of levels very quickly for that actually to pay off very well, because he's only short mana. He's short a fair bit of mana. He won't really be able to use this twice. Right. They're still going to get caught out right here. Release the Kraken with the portal key. We'll see if they can do anything. Behemoth with the shockwave in the background. Won't be able to pick off Hellbringer before any Malphuses come out. All of a sudden, Rally's in a lot of trouble. They'll be able to take him down. Cersei is going to take over the Meraxes. They're going to trade Shorthand for Rally right there, and we'll see if Meraxes Cersei can actually get anything out of this. Parasite is in a lot of trouble once again, and in fact will finally go down. Cersei all of a sudden is going to be in a lot of danger. Word of Rev gets put down, and Ganal is going to fall. So in the end, the Hellborn team do lose 2 heroes, but they get 3 in return, and 2 of those are pretty valuable cores. So continuing to increase their lead, Tremble is going to start to push down this tower a little bit. As oh, they did get 1 Malphus out. Sorry. So Hellbringer did get a Malphus. That's solid. It's going to help push this tower down a little bit. That's nice. But not the biggest deal. So Gravelocket gets picked up, and now he's only 3 mana short, and he'll be just fine if he can get a kill. So if that happens, he will have the ability to successfully combo Malphus into Resto Stone into Malphus. Obviously, that's going to prevent him from being able to use any other spells, but Tremble just going to go ahead and eat Moon Queen right here because there's really nothing she can do. So we're also getting to the point now where Tremble is becoming a pretty serious one-man show. 556 gold per minute on him. He's got a Basher. And actually, I like that pickup a lot. So it did end up going the Shrunken Head, but the Brutalizer is the 3rd item for him, and I like that more than the Wing Bow. So well played there, Snooki, and likely looking to carry his team to victory at this point. More or less thinking that's going to happen. I'm not really seeing too many avenues for escape from this Legion side. They basically need to get a perfect setup with the Release the Kraken, the Moon Finale, and the Shockwave in order for this to go correctly. They'd have to get Tremble before his Shrunken Head comes off. They'd have to catch probably 2 of Hellbringer, Rally, and Math as well. It's just unrealistic. It's not a thing that's going to happen. So Tier 2 towers go down here in the middle. There's Tremble's charge on that. It's the second to last tower. Outer tower going down. The one at the bottom is the only one that remains. Behemoth's going to finish off a Ring of Sorcery, which is interesting because he already has a portal key, so usually not expecting him to have too many mana problems, and if you're going to go that, you'd expect he's going to be coming out earlier than this. But he's got a portal key, he's got the Strider, he's got the Ring, so that's solid. Legion side does have a lot of heavy mana users who don't necessarily have a ton of regen or large base mana pools themselves, so I actually like to pick up in general. It's just the timing of it's a little strange. Looks like Hellbringer will be going for the Shrunken Head here, and that's once again fine. A lot of magical damage coming out on Legion's side, so not surprising whatsoever that he'd want to pick that up. Astrolabe, by the way, was picked up on Rally. It's a bit of an interesting choice, but I do kind of like it, especially considering
has been slain.
There's nobody else that's particularly good at getting it. Hellbringer might have been a better option, but it's certainly not bad on Rally, and it's quite good, so you probably want at least one, or just one, really don't want more than one. You just want one in almost every game. Conqueror, by the way, of course, could go down. for the notification there, as Zanuki will be picking up the token right here. So Tremble will be coming back to life if he ever gets killed, and even that is looking reasonably far-fetched at this point. Final tier 2 tower is going to be going down, and we'll see if they choose to turn that into a base push. Obviously, if it's open to life, that's a distinct possibility. Probably even likely. See if they can get any racks out of this. Puzzle box is finished up on Parasite, so nice little timing right there. And of course, you still have the BE portal key. One tower's going to fall on the top lane. Favorably to the side, they're also going to be able to use their fortification to stop this push a little bit, or to stall it, but this is going to be a tier 3 tower kill by the time they port in here, so the decision to kill that tower was at least a little iffy. I think more than a little iffy, just because they basically sat with tier 1, or tier 3 in a favor of tier 1. It's not usually good. They're going to be using Boris right here to stop portal keys, particularly on Behemoth, so it's going to be annoying as crap for him. He actually nearly dies from it. Goes to jump to the Kraken, he drops down. He's going to get countered though by the Miraxis. Malphus goes on to 4 heroes. Malphus will be pulling up sometime soon. Release the Kraken, actually will catch Tremble, so he's in a little bit of trouble right here. Has already popped the Shrunken Head, so he won't have it if he comes back up with the token, but he's not even going to die. And both racks go down. Empath, of course, inside of Tremble, doing a ton of damage and assisting a lot in that fight as well. Restoration Stone wasn't even used by Hellbringer, so interesting. He got that item, you know, maybe 5-10 minutes ago, not 10 minutes ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, and has not used it once, despite there being a couple of team fights. Of course, first one he died probably before he could get it off and for it. And this is a situation. Seems like he was more interested in using his Q and W, which is completely fair, but it does make you kind of question the pickup. Feel like it's perhaps a little bit too early. It's a very expensive item, and he could have gotten something like a sheepstick if he wanted to. That would have been far more useful, in my opinion. But he's going to finish off his Shrunken Head right here, so that's fine. And we'll see if he can make effective use of that Resto Stone in the next team fight. He's got only an 80-second cooldown left on Malphus, so should be up for the next time they choose to push the base. And currently the Token of Life has about 2.5 minutes left on it, so should be a nice little timing window in the next minute or so where they can try to go into the base, taking their set of racks with the token still well up, and Malphus just looks like that's exactly what they'll do, as the Hellborn team is grouping up here in middle lane. 4 heroes gathering. Tremble's still back at the base, but it seems that they have an idea that they want to be pushing down middle. Legion side seems to be well aware of that as well, as they've grouped it up here in their own woods. Destroying a Tremble Mound right there, and no Fireblade, in fact, to be picked up by Tremble, so continues to have a lot of gold, and in fact, they're going to find Miraxis right here. They're going to charge back in. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Shows them some rocks. Impact wall goes out, but really doesn't do very much. Release Kraken to help. Shockwave onto 3 heroes. Without Tremble here, this is a really, really bad fight for the Hellborn team. Going to have 2 down right there, but there goes Tremble with the Paramount coming in. Going to take 2 right off the bat. Kraken and Parasite dead. Looks like Behemoth could be in a lot of trouble, and he's going to have the Hellbringer dot on him. Gets slowed down by the Nullfire Blade. A beautiful Fissure Stun. It's not going to be enough, though. And GGs are being called as the Legion is able to concede up. It will go through, and that's going to end the game here. So, Game 1, relatively quick victory here for the guys on Polymorph. Very well played for them in general. They just took control of that game extremely early on and did not relinquish as the game progressed. Zanuki on that Tremble with 635 GPM, obviously the shining star, but you gotta look at Hellbringer as well. 486 GPM, it did extremely well, even if the Resto Stone didn't do a ton. Miraxis showing lots of rocks, 333, and just a very solid performance all the way around from the entire side of Polymorph. We'll see if the Undertakers can do a little bit more in Game 2, perhaps tie this game up, or this series up, and force it a Game 3. This is the winner's bracket round of 16, which means the team that loses here is still eligible to go to not only Gold Division, but in fact Diamond Division in the HoN Tour Season 4 first cycle. But, of course, you want to be staying in the winner's bracket as long as possible. So, pretty important game coming up here for the guys on the Undertakers, and we'll see if they can pull out a victory. Be right back with Game 2.